Cold Lake, Alberta.
Yes.
I made it to Alberta. A life decision, a life bucket list. I made it.
I love that road trip with Shawnee.
With Shawnee, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
I-
far away.
I see that we're already live, so maybe I'll save some of those other questions I was going to ask you. So.
Okay. Hey, we're live.
Oh, we are. We're live.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, Wendy.
Hi. I'm just getting. If you're watching on YouTube, come live, guys. Mentors, coaches. Hey Annette. Hey Lise.
Hi, Annette.
Hey, Micah, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see everyone.
Yeah, can we just get a collective group hug?
Where are you, Annette? Looks
Hi, I'm on my porch. It's our first nice day pretty much ever. And so I'm prepared, but I'm determined to be outside. We'll see how it goes. Where are you guys?
Here in Portland, flip-flops come out like when it's still like 55 out, but the sun's out. So flip-flops and shorts for sure.
Nice. Yeah, we just hit, today was like in the 70s and we've had just rain and cold weather for several weeks. So this is awesome.
Here in Portland, flip-flops come out. Awesome. Well, this is really organic and a chance for everyone to just kind of check in. Why don't we do just a quick how is everyone and say hi, and then really we'll just share if anyone has anything particular about their project, if you want to drop a link in, any feedback you want from us. That's what we just wanted to give a space for folks to show up and say hi to each other. But Sandra, really quick, so we'll just go down the line and you can just say hi and maybe what either about either hockey, since we're on the Toronto hangout, or what you're most excited about with spring or nice weather coming your way. Sandra, how's it going? Say hi and
well, I from a leadership conference course. I'm doing a 2-year leadership course, and was at a residential up in Muskoka, Ontario. It was really great, and it actually brought me back memories of the Innovator Academy, because I also had a coach, and then I have a local mentor as well that will mentor me through my leadership journey. So yeah, lots to learn about myself and about leadership and how can I be a better leader. So I'm excited about that.
And which one is your favorite stuffy behind you?
These are my kids.
Don't lie, one of those is personally yours, Sandra.
I like this guy.
Yay, awesome. Raquel, where are you calling from? How are you?
Hi. Let me just find my way here. Hi. I'm from Brazil. I'm here in São Paulo right now. Yes, hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
I've just joined.
Awesome. Thanks, Raquel. Rachel, where are you? You look like you're home and ready for the day.
Yeah, I'm actually from, there was a Google Teacher Academy in Brazil back in 2014, so some time ago. And I'm a mentor to a person from the Toronto Academy. Yeah.
Awesome. Who's your innovator?
She's Carla Jefferson.
Awesome. Oh, cool.
It's been
Thanks
great.
for coming, and thanks to all of our mentors on the call and coaches like Sandra. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Raquel.
Thank you.
Yay,
Great.
thanks for coming. All right, Rachel, how have you been? Anything new in your world?
Good. I started a graduate program to become a principal, so that's exciting.
Yay!
So I'm 3 classes down, 5 more to go, and an internship, so it's not quite halfway, but close. And I'm working with Les this summer. I'm running a future design school young innovator camp in Chicago that I'm really excited about. That's happening at the end of June. So
Yay!
2 little tidbits, but it's very warm here in Chicago today. It's like in the well, I'm going to say it in Fahrenheit, so it won't be meaningless to the rest of you, but it's in the 80s. So,
Oh my God, it's really warm. That's
yeah.
awesome. Yay! Is anyone anyone can share in the chat too if they're currently undergoing major life changes, like starting programs for principalships, and it's really awesome. Hopefully, this is still your tribe to get help and just an ear to to lend on. Michelle, how are you? How have you been since life post Toronto?
Well, life is great. Life is busy, and so glad to see you guys all here. It's bringing me all back to the Toronto Academy. In addition to being a program manager, I'm also a mentor to this academy, and Larissa's on the call. So Larissa and I have been working together. She's done some awesome stuff on her project that she'll tell you about later, but love being a part of it from multiple sides.
Yay! Thanks, Michelle. Micah, how's it going? How's life?
It's going well. I'm calling from Cold Lake, Alberta, Canada. I'm wicked far away from home, Syracuse, New York. Doing some work with ed tech team and some training some folks up here. I really hope to see the Aurora Borealis, but that doesn't seem to be happening, so I'm a little bummed out.
Oh, is it cloudy tonight?
Yeah, it's not in peak. There's a lot of factors, I guess, with solar flares and other scientific-y things I don't understand. So I'm just here and enjoying it and having a nice time. Saw a beaver yesterday run across the street. Pretty exciting.
And how cold is Cold Lake? Is it just kind of mild lake?
No, the lake is still frozen.
Okay.
So, yeah, went up and took some pictures last night. It was pretty wild.
Nice. Yay. Thanks for coming, Micah.
Of course.
Mark, how's it going? How's life?
Sorry, trying to unmute. It's been a long time, Wendy. No, things are good. I'm here in Mission Control in Irvine at Ed Tech Team, and excited to see everybody again. It's we just did one of these meetups. What was the other cohort, Wendy, that we just did?
Colorado. We just did Colorado too. Got to all come on and share where they're at with their projects. Lots of cool stuff happening, and they're getting ready to wrap up their year. So Toronto still has time for their projects, but Colorado is getting close to turn theirs in.
But it was so fun to see everybody and hear what they're doing and get a sense for where they're at and how they've pivoted and all that. So I'm kind of at the point right now where I'm excited about hearing that from all the faces at the bottom of the screen right now.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, guys. We're just rolling down the bottom if you're watching, guys, and just saying hi to everyone. And yay, people in the chat too. So awesome. Marie-Andre, comment ça va? Yeah?
Yeah. Ça va bien, you got it. Good job. I don't know, life is crazy. It's going well. I've been finishing my first year in a new job with Lise, whom I'm happy to see that she's here tonight. We just had an online conference today, so that was kind of crazy. We hosted a few sessions together, leaving tomorrow for the iPad Summit in Montreal. Finishing all of the coaching stuff in the next few weeks, and then hoping for a nice summer off. Going to be going to visit I will probably see Michelle this summer. Maybe we can do something. I'm driving across Canada, so I'm going to be ending up in Nanaimo and going to see Isabelle, and we're going to do a 5-week trip. So
oh my
looking forward to that. Yeah.
How can are you guys going to blog or share so we can all virtually
Absolutely.
go there? Okay.
I'll share a Google Photos album or something like that.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Marie-Andre. Lise.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How's life for Lise besides getting to work with Marie-Andre?
It's fantastic working with Marie-Andre and such a great team here in Ottawa, but it's been crazy busy. So we're prepping for the big move over to Belgium. And that's sort of taking up a lot of my time and getting that all ready to go, and the big purge, and every time I open a drawer, I just need to throw things away is my new reality. And, enjoying all of that and getting ready to head over to the iPad Summit myself and do some presentations over there. So busy times.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming today, and thanks for mentoring.
We're having a fun time. Still managing to fit that in.
It's pretty amazing. I think everyone on this call has got 5 or 6 or 10 things going on, but it's so awesome the amount of time you guys are putting into this. So we can't thank you enough. Yay! And Les, how's Toronto today? Is Toronto as warm as Chicago?
Toronto is not as warm as Chicago today, but it's supposed to be that warm here tomorrow, I think. So, but I'm actually heading up to Owen Sound tomorrow, which is a few hours north of here, right where I was before I came to the London Academy. I'm going back up there tomorrow, but I think it's supposed to be nice up there. So things here are also busy. I'm excited to be back and see some familiar faces from the Toronto cohort and hear about how your projects are going.
Yay, thanks, Les. And if you haven't seen, I'll try to find Les's video, but she has a video in that cabin, as cool as it sounds, chopping wood, and it's really inspiring. So cabin life, hashtag cabin life.
Yeah.
Larissa, how are you? Look how many frames it looks like in that room.
Yeah, my gallery wall in the back. Yeah. I'm good. Super busy too. I'm taking the same course as Sandra right now. We're doing like an AQ course. It's crazy. It's just super busy. And last night, I don't know if any of you tuned into the TLC Ninjas, but I was talking with Nancy and Lisa about the Pick Forward project, which is going really well. We've got quite a few participants in that. So trying to get the ball rolling on that. So if anyone's interested in participating, I'm still looking for some places around the world that people can participate in. Yeah, support for sure. Other than that, I did apply for the GTI too for the summer, so we'll see. What else? We're heading to France for the summer for 3 weeks as well. We need to immerse my son because we've just enrolled him to French school for the summer, or for next year, for September. So that's kind of nerve-wracking and exciting, but we've got, yeah, so just busy, but having fun and loving it. So yeah.
Yeah, I dropped in the TLC Ninja link, and there's some really good feedback in the chat about it. So good.
Oh, good. I didn't even check that out yet.
Awesome.
Have a nice time.
Annette, how are you? I know you're getting outside. How's life for you?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been I feel like also really busy. Just some family stuff going on, and then I can tell you guys, because you're not all over my social media, but I am 10 weeks pregnant.
Yay! Oops, but we are broadcasting, so yay! Guess what? Everyone knows.
Right, exactly. That's okay. So that's pretty exciting. And just kind of gearing up for that. So that'll, complicate life, but make it so much more interesting. So it should be a hoot.
Yay!
Just keeping busy and excited that it's nice outside, so I can garden and get outside. I'd much rather be outside than inside.
Totally. Thanks, Annette, and congratulations. Yay! There's a race going on with cohort babies on who will be the youngest innovator. So
is there nice?
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, I'm gonna have Les maybe share a couple prompts. We try to keep this pretty informal, but if you have right now, you can kind of prepare if anyone has links to some sort of iteration of their project that they want to share, that they want to get feedback on. You can throw that in the chat. But I know we're about halfway from our October journey together. Les, at this stage, I know everyone's in so many different phases of what their project might look like. Any prompts to ask everyone right now for to get some support, or to throw out to us to share at this point in time?
Yeah, I guess that at this point, I hope everyone's had a chance to go out and test at least one sort of experiment related to your project. And I'm wondering if anyone would like to share sort of what is the biggest insight that you've uncovered in actually testing something that you've created with some real users. So have you had a chance to actually put something in the hands of your users, whether it's a draft of a website or a prototype of an app or a product, and have you gained any really interesting insights, or what have you learned from your users based on that testing with them? Or have you pivoted, uncovered something new since the Academy?
I can speak to that if you want. Do you want me to go? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm pasting in the chat my current URL. So my project was all about taking an augmented reality process that was somewhat limited. It included no hyperlinks or images, and I wanted to roll out a higher quality product that had pictures in it, as well as the ability to add hyperlinks. So I rolled it out. I found a guy named Josh Williams in Austin, Texas, who is a KML Google master, and he basically wrote a script for a website for me, which is posted in the link. And the website has a form that you fill out, and it produces a file which achieves everything that I wanted. So I rolled it out in Indiana at an EdTech Team Summit, and we called it EdTech Team Go. And we created this process where people would go around town in the Indiana town we were in and visit the sites and use the hyperlinks to take a quiz about what they were seeing. So it achieved conceivably everything that I wanted. But the downside was that the process doesn't include an editable document. So it's a one-shot deal. You go all the way through the process, and that's the end of it. So if you wanted to edit it later or update it, you'd have to start all over again. So I see that as the current downer, but for the most part, it worked really well. I was pretty happy with it.
And what did the teachers in your session in Indiana, what feedback did they have for you?
They liked it. They thought it was cool. They love free. It was free to do. We did it with the over 300 attendees in Indiana, so they all had access to do it. And they were given directions and tasks to kind of scavenger hunt around town using the app as a map and a guide. They seem pretty stoked about it. I still think one of the problems is people have no clue what I'm doing. And that's partly on me, and it's partly on the description of it. To explain something to people that is augmented reality when people are constantly thinking virtual reality, it's on me to better define that.
That's a really good point. Did you see the teachers like ask you questions like, what is this? Or, did you find them questioning each other's, or once they got into it, they understood what it is a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that I spoke with individually one-on-one thought it was great. And they thought it was pretty cool, and they were excited to try it out at their own school. But for the most part, I think people just didn't know what we were doing, and that, again, has to do with describing it more clearly and slowly to people about how they're using geolocations and all that. So,
yeah, that's a challenge.
Any feedback from Micah on kind of that stumble he's come across, and or if you guys have any connections, has that happened to you? Sometimes we're so close to what we're doing and our project that sometimes when we put it in front of users, that what's in our mind isn't coming across the same way. Any feedback for Micah and or connections? Feel free to speak up or throw in chat if you can't speak.
I would love to. So Micah isn't giving himself enough credit. That idea kind of came together in about 2 weeks, wasn't it, Micah? That from time of pitching EdTech Team Go to like, oh my gosh, we're doing this, and then he put it together, and so it's so great that he just shipped it. And now it's time to iterate, and you know what you can do better. But I mean, it was brilliant. So good on you.
I think that's a great point about just shipping it, right? Getting your sort of minimum viable product out there and testing it and getting some feedback. And that's like such a huge key to be able to iterate, is to just get something out there, even if it's not the sort of perfect finished version.
I also think it's a good example, a model for other people to see what design thinking is and what working on a project is like, that, you're always going to be iterating. Even our project and our math game that we have in an organization that funds this game has minimal viable products, and there's bugs. So I think, yeah, I agree with Michelle. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you think of what when Google Classroom first came out, that was sort of their minimum viable product for Google Classroom, right? And they've been adding features to it based on feedback from teachers over the years. So congratulations, Micah, that's awesome. Does anyone else have an experience of testing something that you've created with some users or getting some feedback?
I can share if you want. Obviously I'm going to share a link, and it's all in French, but whatever, you can try it out. I put my link right there. That website has been pretty much up and running since the Academy, so I shipped it out as soon as I could. And with the help of Brad Overnell Carter, who's my coach, I've been, he's given me a lot of great insight on automating a lot of stuff and working a bit less harder, working not as hard to get the data. But basically, like, my whole thing was I wanted to get a resource out there, but to create this portal where teachers could share how they're doing sketchnoting in the classroom. It's a pretty basic idea, but when I talk to teachers about it, they don't know about sketchnoting. They're looking for ideas on how they can bring it in the classroom. So it's that third tab. There's like accueil, which is home, pourquoi, which is why, and comment, which is how. And that's the section that I've been wanting and working really hard on building. But the insight that I got is that, like, teachers feel that they're not, I don't know how to say it, but they're not good enough to submit stuff. And I've been, like, working really hard on teacher confidence. Like, today I had an online session and someone shared something and I was like, it was amazing. But she was like, do you really think I should share that stuff? Yes, you should share that stuff. So that's the insight that I've been getting. I'm working hard on getting sketchnoting in the classroom. There's a lot of stuff going on, but teachers not that they don't have the time. It's not that it's just that they don't feel that it's good enough to share with others. So I'm working hard on that part right now.
True.
That's really interesting that that you've got the confidence to put your product out there, but you're finding it's the users that aren't confident enough to share, which is sort of an interesting challenge in terms of how might we build up those teachers' confidence. It sort of sounds like is your next challenge, or make it seem less scary to put their stuff out there.
And once it's out there, it's out there. Like, I've got a few teachers are like on the daily, they're sending me stuff. So, I mean, you just need to create that link and they start talking with other people. So, I mean, the investment is worth it, and working on empowering others, it's really, really worth it. So I've got like a teacher who's blogging, I've got a student who's blogging about sketchnoting, and now I've got a future teacher who's blogging about sketchnoting. So, I mean, my whole job has not been the website and putting the product, it's been talking to people and getting them implicated. And I didn't think it would be that, but that's what it's turning out to be.
I love it because it's kind of with Micah too, with kind of just, not understanding something either, or trying to figure out how to use something, that user confidence and helping people feel comfortable and figuring that out as people use stuff really helps you refine it. That's really awesome.
Also, I love the why page. I love how you've turned your slide deck into like a digital book on the pourquoi page. That's fantastic.
That was with Brad. We figured that out.
Yeah, it's great. I haven't seen this sort of hack before, but it's like an online book made out of a slide deck. It's amazing. How have you been sharing it so far? How have you been trying to get teachers to submit their sketch notes?
A lot of sessions, a lot of EdTech team summits, a lot of just work-related summits, day-to-day coaching, just getting the word out there, and then having some key people who are sharing it out. Like, I've got about 150 people who downloaded the digital book. And I've got like this newsletter that's going out. So, I mean, it's slow. I'm getting daily stuff, but I'm just not getting people that are submitting stuff. So that's the next step.
I think a lot of people, we were just on the Colorado call too, who are working on that submission stage. Is anyone else kind of in a submission stage right now where they're looking for folks to submit, or if you have some sort of database or mechanism like this, anyone currently trying that? Or Lise or Raquel or Sandra, our mentors, have you any ideas for helping increasing engagement with submissions and trying to get folks to participate?
Hi, I think that matches what Carla and I were talking a few weeks ago. The teacher's self-confidence is unfortunately low. The scenario here in South America, which I think matches the scenario in other parts of the world, is that teachers feel judged and they already feel insecure using technology. a month ago, I went to Scotland, to Glasgow, to present. And in this conference, there were teachers from many parts of the world. And we can realize it's the same thing. So I just agree with our colleague, is Marie, yeah? Who just mentioned about this thing of working on teachers' confidence, first of all, and teaching the step by step and putting the creativity together. With Carla, we also, we have this look at how to engage teachers because that's her project. I also work with that in Brazil. And also with students with disabilities. In my particular case, visual disability, and in her case, she works with autism, but I think we can all put things together. But I've been in conferences in different places, and I realized this issue of confidence. Many colleagues think, this is not for me, I'm not up to the challenge, and that makes me feel very sad. And I think there's a lot to be done in this way, you know, like the teachers categorize themselves like tech savvy, and okay, we don't know what to do with that. You know, it's just a perspective here.
Totally. Thanks, Raquel, for sharing. That's a really good point.
I can talk to the process of collection of information because I'm kind of at a stage right now for that, and I think I'm earlier in the stage than a lot of you guys. Right now, I would love to collect information from teachers about how they have made connections or how they've used business connections in their classroom. So I'll drop that link in, but I would love your input, you guys. Oops, I should have shortened that link. But if you could tell me how you've made connections, or how you've used those connections, that'd be awesome. Because I'm hoping to have a lot of examples. Like Micah, what I'm realizing is, for a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand what it is I'm trying to do. There's even a gentleman on the team that I've built to kind of guide the project who was thinking more that I'm trying to get kids to find things in their community that they could kind of advocate for, which would be great, but I'm more trying to bring experts into the classroom. So I would love your input as far as how you've used connections. And then I also have another question while we're at it. My site I feel like is so visual, and it was so great to see. Oh my goodness, what site did we just look at? Marie Andre, your site is so visual, and my site is very just print based, and I really want to change that. So if you could give me suggestions, I would love suggestions on how to really have visuals for describing what the project is doing. And I also am realizing, I was talking to a friend who is a poet, and some of my verbiage is leaving out people who aren't a business or a business professional or community organization, who may be just like a private person. So I don't want to exclude people who would be great experts but don't fall into one of those categories. So I'd love any of those suggestions. I know that was like a lot right now, but I'll drop my website link in there too. So yeah, any input you guys have would be great.
And I definitely think in terms of getting the word out there, we have like such a rich resource even within our TOR16. Even if Sylvia were to tweet out for you, it reaches such a large group of people, and especially since, for example, Marie-André, yours is actually for French teachers. Such a great base of French teachers already. That's a great start for that. And then I just love that whole hashtag, and I'm wondering maybe if that even can like build up stuff for building people into coming, seeing that, sketching can be really easy. I was just thinking about the YouTube session that Sylvia just did last night, and how she was just talking about how it just really took off, the Sketch 50, and wondering if maybe even a French version would be really cool. And then I was just looking on the Google Educator groups, and there seems to be quite a few who actually are French. I mean, well, that might be French speaking. Maybe not quite a few, but some. And then maybe just even posting on there and seeing if you can get it like global input from other French-speaking countries.
Great suggestions.
For your the form, Annette, are you you're hoping to get stories that these will be shared on your website, or?
Yeah, examples that would give businesses an idea and professionals an idea of how the relationship could work with the classroom. Because as I talked with some of the people on my steering committee who are on the business side, they were feeling like, well, I design, materials for jet engines. So how do I bring that back? Is it really applicable to kindergarten? And my passion primarily, or as a primary teacher, is to let people say, oh my goodness, yes, there's so many connections, so many ways that you can help. So I want them to kind of have some visuals in their head, like, oh, that's what I could do. That's how, because they said, how do I dumb it down for different age groups? And so I'd like them to have some examples. And for teachers too, because I'm realizing a lot of teachers are like, oh, that would be so complicated to have somebody else involved in my lesson. So I want them to see that it doesn't have to take over a month's worth, or I want them to have lots of different examples that they could base their experience off of.
And then for Annette, sorry, just an idea for you. In Canada, we have something called the Learning, brings together all the businesses and connects them with something similar. But it's already a group of businesses who invested in education that actually run things and connect with teachers. So even if you can get a partnership with an organization like that, would be really.
That's a great idea. And can you repeat the organization? I think my internet chopped out.
Learning Partnership.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you very much.
Yay, connections everywhere. I love it. Thanks, Annette. So I saw Afzal joined in. Hey, Afzal, how are you? It's okay, Afzal's lurking if your audio comes in. And then also Andrew, how are you, Andrew?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. I'm good. I'm just on my way to the airport to pick up my parents.
Oh, how long are they staying?
They're just getting back from Portugal.
Oh, nice. That means you might have some yummy food or ham or something. So that's always worth the ride.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Any updates, or we were just talking, Afzal and Andrew, about either where you might be right now with getting users in front of some version of your project, anything that you've gotten in front of users so far, and anything to share or questions for the team. And then I think, guys, we'll wrap up after that.
Things are picking up pretty quickly. They've been steady. Well, there's been some steady business all year. I got a grant from the Minister of Education to help fund some of what we're doing. So we installed 100 more computers in a variety of different schools throughout Ontario. I just got another order today for 30 more, and it keeps going. So my students are busy, and I'm teaching as I go to teach the teachers and students at those schools. But I'm trying to make it. I'd like to make more contacts overseas in Europe, and I haven't really made very much headway there. That's my next step.
Oh, there's some great some great innovators, just even from this year, from in London, and also from Colorado too, that might be good to reach out to make a connection there in terms of Europe. That's really awesome. Yeah, lots of huge congrats in the chat. That's really exciting to see. Yay.
Thanks. Oh yeah, it's working big time.
Totally. Any insights that you've gotten that might be applicable to other folks as it moves fast, and as people start to obviously getting funding and grants is so huge. Any insights to share with everyone?
I've been leaning heavily on Twitter, just advertising. I'm using tweet maps. No, what's it called? I'll post a link to the tool. It's an automated tweeting tool for advertisements and it sends out updates too as I post them. So it just keeps interest, I guess, available to people who'd like to see what we're up to.
Oh, that's so great. And that's a good idea, even just looking at like Annette getting your business form and Maria-Andrea getting submissions. Like if anyone else has something to share about their favorite tool for just driving that engagement, share it in the chat for sure. But that's really great. Yeah, share the tweet maps or whichever one you're using, Andrew. That's a really great strategy. Les, any other thoughts on that in terms of driving engagement or getting users or getting folks to it?
I think what Sandra said about the network that we have already within the Innovator program. I mean, I don't know how many people have tried using the listserv to get a message out. I know when I first started my project last year, the first thing I did was send out a survey just to the Google Innovator group, the GFE Certified Innovators Google group email. And I got something like 100 responses to my survey within 2 days from just people in the Innovator community. So I think that's something that if people haven't already started leveraging that, as Sandra mentioned earlier, it's a great network of people that I think are really supportive of our projects. And then in terms of attracting users, I think that as we all know, teachers are super busy. So trying to show how your whatever your project is going to be beneficial for them. It's going to make their life easier or save them time or do something that's going to help them in some way, then you're more likely to get adoption, because otherwise there's just too many things competing for our attention.
I love that. I was just looking, Rachel, before we wrap up, thanks for sharing your site. Did you want to share anything about the Volunteer Hub?
Well, so my interesting, I guess, thing I'm learning is that timing really matters on everything. So I made this website for the Volunteer Hub, but the school that I have that's gonna pilot it for me, the principal doesn't want to start it till the next school year just because of the timing of things. So I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now. But I think it was actually, I have a really cool mentor. His name's Jesse, and on like our first or second call, I was like, it's not perfect, and I don't know exactly, and I'm not very good at creating websites and all of this. And he's like, use a Google Sheet. That's all you need. Just do a Google Sheet. And I think it was like helping me to get over this like need for it to be the exact thing I wanted in order to be able to like share it with the world. So I mean, I know that's kind of echoing what other people have already said, but that was sort of one of the processes I've gone through in this experience, and then finding other things to do in the interim while I'm waiting. I started a sketch note blog too, Marie-Andre, and I can drop the link in the window, but I started posting my sketch notes and a bunch of my friends were like, how do we do this? So I just am doing like short lessons, and I got to teach a couple of different classes. So I had a couple different schools, one on Google Hangout. So that was really fun to do a whole lesson on Google Hangout and then just share the students' work. It was just super exciting. So that's one of my interim projects that I'm doing while I'm waiting to launch the rest of my Innovator project. But
I love it. Way to make use of your time. And I think that's important to note too, just listening to that. And sometimes there's things out of your control that for a project that you can certainly work. And if it were ever your timeline were super crazy, like you did have to wait till beyond the program, please always feel free to work with your mentor and say, even Rachel, if you heard that this would take a while and you wanted to work on your sketchnote blog and things like that, that's what pivoting's for. And you're welcome to, even as an innovator beyond this year, the point to stay as an active innovator is to continue to just work on cool, innovative stuff. And that can change, every, 6 months. So we hope that if something pops up at you in your new jobs or wherever you're at, to follow that and kind of use this same process with other stuff too, just like that blog. So yay, that's really awesome to hear.
Thank you.
Yay. Well, thanks guys. I think I think we're past our half hour, but I hope this time was at least helpful to say hi to everyone, learn about babies and parents coming in from Portugal and your projects, and hearing from Les about ways that you can keep getting data and keep refining your message and confidence of users. There's all sorts of goodies that came out of hanging out for a few today. So any final parting words, Les? We'll offer this again in a couple months, just as a chance for you guys to come hang out, share, get some feedback. But any parting words as folks go on to their summers and time to look into these things?
I would say, actually, I'll use Rachel's website as a jumping off point. I think it's a great example of just getting a first iteration out there and starting to get feedback on it. And so I think that the big thing from moving forward is just share as much as you can and try to gather as much information as you can from your users. Put something out there and then share it far and wide, and then try to collect some of that feedback. When you're collecting feedback from users, like I think a lot of people have sent out surveys to try to gather information, and maybe we've discovered that it's challenging to get people to fill those out. So if you can even just get a group of teachers at your school at some point before the end of the school year, or if it's students who are your users, actually try to do like a small focus group maybe, and sit down with some people and show it to them and say, how can I make this better? What could I improve? What am I missing here? That in-person feedback, you can often get a lot more by asking someone to interact with your product in front of you and actually watch them go through your website and then get feedback from them in the moment. I think it's a great way to gather some information that will really help your projects. So while you're still in the last month of school here before everyone takes off for the summer, even if it's like, hey, everyone, come after school and I'll bring snacks and test my product.
Cookies.
Yeah. Food always works. Always offer food. Or wine if you can.
Wine and user testing party.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. You all look awesome and great to hear from everybody. And of course, let us know if you have any questions. It sounds like you all have awesome mentors who are helping you out through your process. Thanks, mentors, for coming and hanging out with us today, and coaches. Thanks, Sandra. We'll see you guys online. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
You.
Good luck.
Bye.
being here.